Hello guys, welcome back to my C++ programming class. So in this lesson, we will explore more details about this iostream header file that you have learned in the previous lessons. Okay, if you haven't watched it, please watch before you come to these lessons. So if you have watched my first two lesson videos, then I believe you have a little bit of idea what is this iostream header file, right? So it is basically a header file that defines the standard input and output stream object such as the cin, cout, cr, clog, win, and so on. Okay, but the most commonly used object under this header file are cin and cout that requires the user to key in the input and to display some results or the output on the console of the screen. Okay, just like this demo, we have the cin requesting the user to key in some value and store inside the variables, and then cout to display some statements to display some result. Okay, so to use this cin and cout, you must include the header file name iostream so that the compiler know where should it look for so-called these built-in functions. Okay, and since this cin and cout are both stored in the C++ standard library, we have to include this using namespace library. Okay, if you omit this using namespace standard, it will throw you the errors. Okay, if I throw this one and run it, it will show me the errors. Okay, you may also omit this using namespace standard, but the condition is you must always put the command standard double column in every cin and cout end command to inform the compiler where should they look for this cin and cout object. For instance, I remove this using namespace standard, right? So in front of this cin, I have always include this standard double column for every cin and cout. Okay, and also this endl. Okay, so I rerun the program. It will produce the same result. Okay, remember, if you want to use the cin and cout, there are two methods. Either you include this iostream using namespace standard, else you include iostream, omit this using namespace standard, but you have to always include this standard double column in front of the cin, cout, and endl. Okay, here are some valid input for a char, integer, and tuple data type that you should alert. Okay, so this one we have included in the lesson 2 also, how to declare a variable and how to store a variable inside these variables. Okay, now let's move on to this cin stream, which are asking the user to key in some input. So this is the syntax on how to request the input from the user, cin, then this extraction operator, your variable name. Okay, if you have more than one input, then you can just combine them without writing the cin command. Okay, but however, you have to duplicate this extraction operator. Then the user can key in two input at the same time. Okay, just a reminder, let's say you want to read a space in a char data type, remember to put this syntax cin.get. Okay, so I provide some examples in the lesson 2, so please refer to my lesson 2 video to know more. Okay. Okay, here is the common input errors that cause the problem execution failure. So if the input data does not match the corresponding variables, then the program might run into the problems. So although the expression provided provide you the result, but the result is wrong. So I will show you one good example here. Okay, here is the example. I'm asking the user to enter an integer. Okay, I run the program. So I key in some a string, for instance, a male. Press enter. So nothing out, error. Okay, so as a good program, you must always include the input validations. Okay, where you can use the some coding, some statement like the if-else statement that you're going to learn in the later lessons, where a message should pop up to alert the user if the user key in a wrong input which does not match the predefined data type, then it will show you something wrong. Okay, so this is not a good program as it will just stop here. I key in a wrong input and it will just stop here. So as a good program, you should include some statement to alert the user. Okay, some sort like this. If I run the program and I key in some wrong data type answer, so then you should pop up some errors. Okay, error, a number must be entered. Then I re-enter again. If I enter a wrong data type, again wrong, until you key in some value. Okay. Some other interesting feature for the cout stream. So as you know, if let's say you would like to display some statements, some expression, some result on the screen, then you have to use cout with this insertion operator. The error will move to the right hand side. Many students, they might confusing this operator for this cin and cout. So here are some tips for you. If let's say you would like to get some input from the user, or in other words, okay, we go to the cin, or in other words, you are storing, okay, you are storing some value into, okay, look at this error. You are storing some value into these variables. So therefore, the error is moved to the right hand side because you are storing some value into the variables. Meanwhile, for the cout, in other words, you are printing this statement, this expression, okay, out. Okay, therefore you can see this operator is moving towards the left hand side. You are printing this statement out to the screen. Okay, you are printing this, then you move to this out, printing this statement out on the screen. Okay, so I hope that you can really differentiate when you need to use this operator move toward this right hand side, and when you are going to use the operator that moves toward the right hand side. Okay, right is when you are going to use the cin, and left when you are going to use the cout. In a C++ programming, we do have some output manipulator to allow the user to format their output. Okay, so one of the most common manipulator is the endl, is to create a new line of the output. Okay, here is the syntax. Put the manipulator in front of the expressions of all the variables. Okay, just for instance, programming is fun. Okay, cout for programming is fun. So without the endl, so it will just display this statement in one line, in single line. So if let's say you want to display, break it into two lines. Okay, cin. Again, follow the syntax. What is the manipulator? Endl, right? Endl. Then put this operator fun, your expressions. Okay, for manipulator, no double quote. Double quote is only for this statement that you are going to display on the screen. Okay, so now I will run the program. So it will break this line into two. Okay, So there is another way to perform the same task where you use this escape sequence. Okay, this escape sequence is not the manipulator, it's the escape sequence called as a \n. So there is another way to perform the same task. So I just remove this line. Okay, so from here I just need to add a \n is font. So I will run the program, then it will produce the same result. Okay, same output. Okay. Now, in some occasions, you would like to reformat. Okay, you would like to reformat the result or the value to be displayed on the screen, such as this example. Okay, we have a double value 20, integer person 3. So the price is equal to the value divided by the percent, 20 ringgit divided by the 3%. Okay, so what is the result? If I print this one, you will get this 6.66667. It doesn't make sense. Okay, because we are in a currency. It is a common sense that we should have only 2 decimal places in the currency. So this is where the manipulators comes in to change the format of the display output to the decimal places. Okay, so before we go further, okay, so let's look at this manipulator. We have 2 types of manipulators. Can be categorized in the 2 types of manipulators. One is the with parameters, second one is the without parameters. So if you want to use this with the parameters such as a set width, set precision, set fill, then you have to include this IO manip header file. Okay, if you want to use non-parameterized manipulators such as the fix, endl, showpoint, left, right, you can just omit this IO manip. Okay, just include this iostream header file is enough. Okay, so in this lesson, I'm not going to show all the manipulators that are available in the C++, but I will also use some common manipulators that you might often use. Okay, I will provide the link to lead you to a complete list of this manipulator in the description box later. Okay, you can just go to this description box and look to the link. It will lead you to the complete list of this manipulator. Okay, here I will just show you some commonly used manipulators. So let's start with the first parameter manipulator. We had a set width. Set width stands for the setw. Okay, setw stands for the set width for an output. Okay, so the purpose for this manipulator is basically to arrange the value in order, in a manual way and more tidy way. Okay, for instance, okay, here is the example. So assume that you have 4 values f, g, h, I. Okay, I would like to display these 4 values in the 2 times 2 dimensions. So look what's happened if, let's say, without using this manipulator setw. So this is the output. It looks not that tidy, not organized. Okay, so what happens? Let's see what happens if, let's say, I use this manipulator setw. Okay, so I have improved the program just now. I add this manipulator setw 10 and then f. So I will run the program. And you see it is in more organized way, in more tidy. Okay, now how does this setw works? How it actually works? So you can basically just assuming that this bracket, okay, this bracket 10 is to mention how many columns or how many space that you would like to set. For instance, you have this setw10, then you can just think of there are 10 spaces or 10 columns treated to cater this variable f. Then you have another set with 10, then it will create this 10 spaces for this variable g. So 10 spaces for variable g. Then endl new line, setw 10, another 10 spaces for h and 10 spaces for I. Okay, and so on. Okay, so the value, then later on this value will fill up into this columns by default from the right hand side. Okay, this is from the end of this variable f, right? So it will start to fill up the value 9 from the right hand side, 9, 6, then decimal point 3, 2, 1, and so on. Same for this g, start from the right hand side. Okay, here is the mistake, should be 72.97255. Then you have a new line, start from the right hand side, 4 decimal, and so on. Okay, so this is the purpose of setw, to display your value in more organized way, in more tidy way. So if let's say you would like to fill out this space, you feel that this space is like kind of wasted, and also it's not that good looking. Okay, you can just use another manipulator. We call it as a setfill command. Okay, so this setfill command is used to fill the unused column, which is a space with a char other than a space. Okay, so here is the syntax: setfill, then bracket, then what is the char that you would like to fill out these spaces. Okay, so let's improve the coding the previous slide. So I have improved it. I have added another manipulator, setfill. Okay, then a dash. Okay, I will run the program. Okay, can you see? I fill out these empty spaces with the dash char. Okay, you want to change to alliance? Yes, can. Alliance. Or you want to change to slash, or you want to change it to the path. Okay, I will run the program. So it will fill up all these empty spaces for me. This alliance is not that good, so I put a star. Maybe it look better. Okay, here. Okay, and then let's move on to the next manipulator, setprecision. Okay, the purpose of this setprecision is to display the floating point value up to n significant digits. Okay, up to n significant digits. Okay, I'm not going to cover what is a significant digit in this lesson. This significant digit, you should learn this during your secondary school. But however, I have provided the link of what is the significant value in the description box. Okay, you can just click the link inside this description box to know more about what is a significant digit before you come into this slide. Okay, so we have another manipulator, so as fixed manipulator. If we use the setprecision together with this fixed manipulator, then it will display the floating point value up to the n decimal places. Okay, there are the difference. For the first one, if you use only setprecision, then it will show you the n significant digit only. If you use together with the fixed manipulator, then it will show you the floating point value up to the n decimal places. Decimal places are not significant digit, it's the decimal places. Okay, we have an example here, value 5.6789. So if let's say I display num, so it will just show me 5. Okay, it will show me this 5.6789 in the normal case. if let's say you add this set precision 4, then it will show you 4 significant digits for this value, which is equivalent to 5.678. Okay, 5.667. Then this 9 will round out. Okay, we will round out, becomes 5.679. So I set 3, then it will show me 3 significant digits, 2 significant digits, and then 1 significant digit. Okay, if you use only set precision manipulator. Let's look at this second case where we add this fixed manipulator in front of this set precision. Remember what is the definition? If let's say I add fixed in front of the set precision, it's going to display the floating point value up to the n decimal places. Which means that, okay, in this case you just omit, okay, you can just forget about this 5 point. Now if you use fixed together with this set precision manipulator, we just focus the value behind this decimal point, which is 679. Display 3 significant digits for this value after the decimal point, which is 679. Rounded up becomes 679. We have a fixed set precision 2, then it will show you the significant digit for these two value after the decimal place. Okay, can you see the difference? If let's say you use only set precision manipulator and fixed plus set precision manipulator. Okay, so here is the tricky part. Okay, once you put the fixed manipulator here, then this fixed and set precision is applicable for all the values in the program, or in the rest of the program. So in some case, as observed case, you just want to use this fixed manipulator for this certain part. Okay, so you want the value to be displayed back to the normal after this part. So you have to disable this command fix. So how to disable? You have to use this syntax cout.unsetf, then bracket ios double column, then your manipulator name. So now back to the normal, I set precision 3, so it will just show me 3 significant digits, 2 significant digits. Okay, so this as a setw, set precision, set width are the common parameter manipulators. Okay, now let's move on to the first non-parameterized manipulator, showpoint, cause a decimal point and theorem zeros to be displayed. So in a normal case, if I have a value 123.4, y equal to 456.0, okay, now let's say I display the result, it will just show me this 4 significant values, 3 significant values. It will omit this 0 for you. If let's say you want to display these theorem zeros, then you have to use this showpoint manipulators in front of these variables, then the 0 will be displayed. Okay, so now we have this second manipulator, left and right manipulator. Okay, now refresh the setw manipulator. Okay, as I mentioned before, by default the value will start to be filled from the right hand side. Okay, from the right hand side, 096 point from the right hand side. Okay, you can reformat this output to start filling the value from the left hand side also using this manipulator. Cout, then the operator left, then it will left justify the output. Okay, if you want to go back to the right hand side, then you use cout this operator right. It will right justify your output again. Okay, so here is the sample the coding. You have the value x equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 m z and so on. Okay, without using any left and right manipulator. So let's look at this result. We have 1 2 3. So this is the normal display. So if let's say you set the w 10, okay, by default it will start filling up the value from the right hand side, right? So it will start to filling up this from the right hand side. Okay, from the right hand side 654.321 for the x value. Okay, start from the right hand side 78.9 and so on. Okay, now if let's say you would like to display from the right hand side, use the manipulator left, then it will left justify all this output. Okay, so again, this manipulator is always very tricky one. Once you apply, then it will applicable for the value afterwards, after the in the rest of the programs. So in order to disable this manipulator, it means that you want to redisplay this output back to the right justified. Then you have to disable this left manipulator using this syntax cout.unsetf ios the name of your manipulator. Then you will go back to the right justified output. Okay, so we have other I/O manipulators such as showpoint, noshowpoint, showpos, scientific, and so on. Okay, look at this fixed or scientific. Okay, we use a scientific manipulator. It will display the result in the scientific notations. Okay, so I hope you understand what is a scientific notation. So if not, then I will provide the link to you. What is this scientific notations in the description box. Okay, so we have showpos, showpoint, and showpos. Okay, showpoint is to show you the decimal point. If I have 1 2 3, if you just display normal, it will just display 1 2 3 for you. But if let's say you want to have this decimal point, use showpoint. Okay, if let's say you want to have a positive sign or negative sign in front of the value, use showpos. Then it will display this positive or negative value sign, this positive and negative sign for you. Okay, and lastly, last manipulator is to display your value in different numbering systems such as the decimal, octal, hexadecimal. Okay, you can just use both C in and C out. Okay, so by default the output is shown in the decimal, is shown in a decimal numbering system, unless you want to it to be displayed on different numbering systems such as octal and hexa. Then you have to put this the DEC, OCT, HEX in front of your variable. Then it will change the numbering system. Okay, so last but not least, try this exercise out by applying the knowledge that you have learned in the today's lessons. Okay, we have this generate the output. Okay, in this case you have to use, make sure it's right justified, right? So you have to use setw. Okay, you have to use setw here also. Setw, this is the right justified, this is the right left justified, and you have a star in front of this. So how to set it? Refer back to the note that I shared to you just now. Okay, so I will see you in the next lesson. Hope you are enjoying this video. If you like this video, okay, please don't be stingy, give me a like. I will see you in the next lessons. Bye.